صلي وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك وحبيبك ونبيك سيدنا Muhammad. So last time we talked about conflict in marriage, and today we'll continue in that. I will mention two case studies that is very common, and I will mention after that how to deal with these cases. One of the very common mistakes that is very common conflict, that the interference of in-laws. So it's very common to have a sister call me and said, "Oh Sheikh, my husband is good, we are compatible, we are comfort, but the problem is his parents or his mom specifically call him many times every single day. What did she cook? How she raised his children, how she raised her children, how she treat you, what time she came home." And the husband respond to all of this. So I feel that I get married to the whole family. That's very common problem. Or sometimes opposite, that the sister talk to her parents about everything happen in the house. So the husband said, "I feel they hate me. Even small problems we can't discuss together." So this is a message for the husband, the wife, for the in-laws. Birrul walidain is essential in our deen. But birrul walidain doesn't mean that you neglect your wife. There's always balance in our deen. We respect and treat our parents in the best manner. That doesn't mean we worship our parents. We worship only Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala told us that there is a balance in Sharia. There's a right for the parents, right for the wife, right for the children. If you are abd lillah, you have to follow what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said. So number one is a message for the spouses. Birrul walidain is very important, but doesn't mean that you neglect your spouse. What's the solution? Number one, keep what happened between you and spouse privately. Don't tell your parents about everything happening in the house. That's a secret. And usually if you tell them every detail, that always will cause problems. Will just add fuels, especially these details. So what if they keep asking? Then you need to do something, set up boundaries. You have to talk to your mom very kindly, gently, but very clearly in the same time. "Mom, I love you, you raised me all this time. There is no one on this earth I will love more than you. Whenever you want me, I'm here, I'm your son. However, that interference of my marriage can destroy my marriage. Let me live this life with a new experience. If you have any comments about my wife, come to me and tell me gently. If it's something very big, I will try my best to fix that problem." Very gently, but very clearly. You have to say that. You have to. Especially the man, because they are the one who qawwam, the one who have the leadership, the responsibility in that house. Sometimes you need further action, like separation in a new house, for example. Because some traditions and norms, for them it's a big shame for their son to take a new house, and the son should live with them. We said to the parents, these just norms and traditions. If we can do that without no problems, it's good. But if that will lead to a lot of problems, then separation here is the best solution. And that's a right for the wife, Islamically, to provide for her a house or apartment, to run a house or apartment, or to rent. That's her right. If she can live with your parents, that's good. If not, then that's her right. And again, that's not against parents. That's just in your head. You just need to set some clear boundaries. Some men say to me, I talk to my mom gently and clearly, but she get angry of me. Okay, that's also very normal. But I will tell you from now, she will get angry just few days. And that will gone. Believe me. It's just the first time for her, because some moms or some mothers, they look at the daughter-in-law that they just want to take their son from them. That's just a delusion also. That's not true. If you just reshape your mindset and look at your daughter-in-law that if I love my son, then I will treat his wife as my daughter because I love my son. And that will solve a lot of problems. In the opposite side, sometimes also, for the wife, you should not tell your parents about anything happening in the house. If something positive or good news, yes, tell them straight away. But if any conflict, believe me, that will cause a lot of problems. Because you have a conflict, small conflict, tomorrow you will reconcile. You will solve the problems. But your parents, they don't forget. They will bring it again and again and again. And this finally a message for all the parents. You raise your children for 20 or more than 20 years. May Allah bless all of us. But you have to know now that your children need to live their own experience now. That's how the life is. So you care about them, then let them live this life and start their own experience. If you love your son, treat his wife like your daughter. Believe me, wallahi, that will bring a happiness for your son. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala guide us. What I see from these cases, the problem always here, the key of the problem is with the man. Because he is the one who needs to set that boundaries. Sometimes just because he thinks this is not birrul walidain, sometimes just afraid about his mom will get angry of him forever. That's just in your head. Just a few days and everything will be a healthy relationship. Another very famous case study that happened many times, that after few months, the couples realize that their nature are so different. One of them are organized, one are messy. One is emotional, one rational. One is loud, the one is quiet. There's a very famous... so they think, we are not compatible. That difference doesn't mean you are not compatible. It's a message for any couples after few months. Don't think you are not compatible because just of this. But what you miss is marriage need a very important skill, which is compromise. Very important skill. If you don't have this skill, it's very hard to manage any marriage. Wallahi. Because you come with a person, came from different background, different family, different preferences. It's obvious that you have differences. If you marry a copy of you, then why you marry then? What's the sweetness of marriage here? That difference is the sweetness of marriage. It's not the problem. The problem is how we deal with it. A lack of compromise is the problem. And that all come to how to look at the problem. Number one. Number two, how to express what you don't like. These two things is the key of this case study. Number one, how look at it. So, for example, if the woman is very tidy, mashallah, very organized, everything is in its place, and the man came and he throw his clothes or his socks, so she look at it, interpret it, at how can he see the house all tidy and he take it personally. He just want to annoy me. He doesn't want to annoy me. He never put his clothes in his entire life in its place. So that's something new for him. What you should do, number one, be careful with your tongue. Be careful with your tongue. Say it very kindly, gently. What if we sit together? Look, I personally want everything to be very organized. I know maybe you don't, that's not your habit. Let us slowly, gradually learn this. Every time you come, I will remind you kindly to put your clothes in its place. Just 1, 2, 3 weeks, everything will solve. The problem comes from what? Some sisters, they see this situation and they remain silent. Remain silent, silent. Interpret as annoying, silent, silent. After 2, 3 weeks, she explodes. I told you 100 times. Why? And he's surprised. What's going on here? So if we talk frankly, gently, we'll solve the problem easily. That's just one problem, for example. Or because these small problems, if we don't fix it, that will lead to a big problems. Sometimes just some of them, when he expresses his idea, more emotional. So when they talk, when the sister talk, for example, very emotional. Speak loudly and with a lot of emotions, like she's fighting. So the brother, why she's fighting? That's just her habit. Very simple. So when you know that you are different, just remember that. So you will deal with that. Okay, let us set something. Number one, if you understand it's just a habit, you will deal with it very easily. Very easily. But if you take it and you hide it by yourself, that will cause a lot of problems. Sometimes, just how we deal with anger issue. If they are not in the mood, I always say to the youth, when you come to the meeting to meet your potential, ask them details. For example, you go to see a sister. Ask her, if you are not in the mood, what do you want me to do to just release that? Do something comfort. What do you want me to do? What's the best way you think? That detail is very important. Because how can couples, after many years, and they still conflict in the same problem, they don't know the mood of each other. They don't know how to calm down each other. And there's a lack of skills then. So if we deal with that and talk frankly, if I'm not in the mood, for example, please let me go outside 30 minutes or upstairs. Don't talk to me for 30 minutes. After that, I will come back. Very good. The sister said, if I'm not in the mood, please come and ask me and try to, don't leave me, that annoying me more. Simple. Finish the problem. So, in short, differences doesn't mean you are not compatible. But what's missing here in the scenario is the lack of compromise. Very important skill. That's two famous case studies. There's a lot of case studies, sometimes extreme. Need a counselor, sometimes one of the, unfortunately, many problems nowadays is the addiction of the husband. Husband become addicted to drugs, to very famous nowadays. So it's a message for all the brothers. If you are addicted, and you know that before you get married, you have Islamically to tell your wife about this. If you don't tell them, this is deceiving, this is cheating. And I will tell you now, if you want to raise good children, addiction is disaster. Go and seek help before you get married. If that happened to you later, seek help. You can't solve it alone. Don't think if you go and pray to rak'ah and ask Allah, the problem with addiction, there is a damage in the receiver. You can't receive the Quran properly. So you need help. That's a very common one. Also a problem that Some sisters, if there is conflict, they will go straight away, not to their families, not to any imam or any counselor, they go straight away to the civil court. And you know the law here is with the woman, they take advantage of this. Any disagreement, they will go to civil court. That's also, I remind you, we have our Quran and Sunnah first. We have our strategy to deal with it. Interfere a counselor, a wise person, your family. If you try everything, then we have to go with the Islamic way first. If something's severe, that's exception. Sometimes the problem is children or the first year of marriage. Sometimes loneliness. The couple get married, the brother, he worked very hard, he wants a comfort life for his wife. There's no children in the first year, she feels loneliness. So she starts to look at marriage from very negative side. It's a message for my daughters and sisters. In this situation, don't rely on your husband completely. Always build your own character, your own circle. Try to go and find some circles. And the best circle you'll find in Islamic centers, where there's a halaqah for reciting Quran, a lecture. Those people you'll find there is the best people. You get their numbers, they contact, and try to build your circle. Always you try to fill your life with some projects. Don't just all loneliness till especially if you don't study or you don't work. Or another problem is the children. When the children come, some men thought that the upbringing of children is a duty of the wife only. He thought that my duty is to provide. That's it. In back home, in my time, upbringing is very easy because you are not the one that your parents help you, your aunties, your uncles, the whole village even. We used to live in very small villages and all of this. Nowadays, it's completely different. Your wife, usually her parents is not in the same maybe city, not in the same, or maybe they are busy. So you are the only one should help here. Upbringing is not the duty of the wives, it's the duty of both, wife and husband both, especially nowadays. Your presence is vital in marriage. Your children need you, and you need your quality time, not just to provide financially. This is some of the common case studies. There's a lot, but we'll leave that inshallah for your questions. So in short, conflict is the salt of this life. It's just how do we deal with it is what we need. And there is some skills, we talk about it along with this series. It's very important to have maybe just a lack of skills to deal with that conflict. Wallahu alam. I don't know if the sisters they put in the, I told Anas to put. No link? May Allah forgive him. Can you message Anas? Can you message Anas to pin link? He told me before Salah. Message him and Umar, look, if there's any link, give me the questions. Till we start with the brothers, inshallah. Yes, if there's any questions from the beginning of the series till now, inshallah, after that we'll go to the next week, maybe we'll discuss what if the conflict doesn't work and they want to separate, they want to divorce. What's the ahkam? How is the separation in Islam? We'll talk about 3 types of separation. Talk about what we call talaq, if the separation is from the husband side. And secondly, about the khula', if the separation is from the wife's side. Or the third one is fasakh, if the problem is from the husband and he doesn't want to give talaq. There's 3 types of separation in Sharia. We'll explain that very clearly. We will go through the ayat of Surah Al-Talaq very important. And after that, we'll talk what after talaq. What is idda, that period time, waiting period. We'll talk about what's the rights of children after the talaq. As Surah Talaq explain, what's the rights of women and the children. And after that, if they want to come to each other, what's the way for that, etc. inshallah. So, yes. If there is any questions? He put the link? Okay, when he put, just let me know. Because sisters complain to me that they have a lot of questions. And yes?
Is it a good idea?
Okay, he asked, if I get married with a woman, is it good to know all her family and she know all my family, or the marriage in Islam is just between two individuals? Very good questions. Especially here, when we live in a society maybe different than... So, in Islam, you marry that couple, but there's a new relationship will arise when you get married. This new relationship called in-laws. In-laws have right in Islam. Allah in Surah Alfurqan said, هو الذي خلق من الماء بشرا فجعله نسبا وصهرا. He divided the whole relationship in a human being to two. Lineage and in-laws. In-laws is very important. And when Rasulullah ﷺ came, the Arab, they have their traditions that they will honor the in-laws too much and they respect them. Quran and Sunnah agree with this. What's the right of the in-laws? Number one, to know them. So if you marry your wife and don't know about her family, that's not good. Because when you know about your family, that's for her also. That means you love her and honor her more. So you ask about her family, what siblings, her parents, all of this. Number two, that allow you to do good to them, to be generous with them. Maybe some of them need help financially, maybe some of them sick, maybe some of them, etc. So that's all. If you love your spouse, then respect and honor and be good and generous to his or her family. So respect, generosity, honor, visiting, that's the right of in-laws. But as we said, if they interfere in the negative way, we have to say it kindly, gently, and set the boundaries. But to think that you just marry a one individual and I don't care about her family or his family, no, that's not. Because think about it like this. If the sister marry a brother, that brother came from a family, take care of him over 20 years. So you want to neglect his mother, his father, his family? It doesn't work like this. But try your best to do a good hadiyah. Gifting or giving presents is always a good strategy here to build that respect and love between families. Very important. So when you visit, for example, his family, it's a good idea to bring some presents for his families, his mother, his sisters. That's good. That's money you spend as in the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. That will maintain that love and rahmah between you. And the opposite side the same. When the husband go to her family, it's a good idea to bring a lot of gifts and all of this. That's one also of... It's good to encourage your spouse to take care of his or her parents. Suppose you get married and you feel that your spouse doesn't care of his parents. Then your duty here is to encourage him or her to take care of their family. Because the more they are good to their family, the more they are good to you. That's another angle also, very important. So in Islam, yes, in laws is you initiate a new relationship once you get married. Yes. Okay, the links for the sisters who watch us online or downstairs, you can write down your questions and it comes straight away, inshallah. Umar, okay? That's your... How are you, Jabir? Good, alhamdulillah. Did you get married or not? Not yet, I can see, yeah. Go on. When you know a potential, how long that period, it just depends. So for example, first meeting, you ask for first meeting. If you still have some question, you're not satisfied, second, third meeting, also 3 meetings is enough to understand that situation and to decide properly. So it is just a short period of time, but it depends on these meetings. Yes?
Someone asked that their husband uses TikTok all the time and he's busy with work, and so she deleted the app and he promised not to download it again, but he still did.
He deleted or she?
She deleted it for him.
Allahu Akbar.
Did it again, so what should she do?
Okay, a sister asked that her husband is addicted to TikTok and always talk about this. What she did, she deleted from his phone for him, as she said, and then he downloaded again. Okay, number one, sister, before I carry on, don't ever, never take a decision on behalf of your husband. You become annoyed of that TikTok and you delete it without his permission. That's transformed the problem. It was a very small problem, now become very big problem. Because now it's a type of disrespect. But what is the solution? Solution is waiting for him when he's in a good mood. And after that, discuss that frankly. Look, that TikTok is take a lot of your time. I feel neglected. I feel invisible. You didn't give us quality time. Let us set plan. Always suggest the solution. Don't just complain. It's for both sisters and brothers. When you complain of something, number one, praise first. Compliment. Then they will not take it personally. MashaAllah, you are a good husband. You provide for us. You are barakah in this house. May Allah bless you. Then however, there's a small thing, which is TikTok, that's annoying me. Express your feeling. I feel that this is not good for our relationship. Then third, suggest a solution. Look, I know you can't cut it one time, but what if we reduce the time that you look at your TikTok? Just give me permission to help you in that. When you start in that time, set alarm. And I'm there. That's it. When the alarm, I will remind you gently and kindly of this. Slowly, slowly, we'll fix that problem. That's the best strategy to solve this. But when you interfere and you go and delete that, it was a small problem, now become a big problem. Allahu Alam. Yes?
What about the other way around? The woman, she's on social media and she's like wasting her time.
Okay, one brother here is very angry about this. So he said, what is the opposite side? What the woman is always in her social media and doesn't give a quality time to her husband. The same solution. Don't do or decide something on behalf of her. Don't take her mobile phone and delete the social media. That's bad. This. But at the same time, look at her mood, then discuss with that frankly. Invite her to restaurant, for example. When she's in the good mood, talk about that frankly and suggest a solution. And said, I want to help you in that because I love you. Yes. 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 Yes.
You mentioned the benefit of compromising.
That's right.
Are there times that husband or wife shouldn't compromise? Are there times that husband or wife shouldn't compromise?
Okay. Like you mean something essential in our deen, for example? Yeah. Compromise, when we talk about compromise, we talk about anything is flexible in our deen. If something in our religion, which is very straightforward, there's no room for interpretation, there's no compromise here. However, there is a gentle words and convincing. Whenever you express your opinion, always gently and kindly. Even with something no compromise. Stay firm, because you love your deen more than anyone else. However, say it very also kindly. But compromise, what I mean, is the majority of the situation in life. Majority is just flexible, just opinions. Not something go against our deen. Yes, Omar. So they marry to each other and they want children. They found that they are unable to have children. Okay, very sensitive topic. Number one, we have to know that children is very important in marriage, but is not also necessary. We live here to worship Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. There's some people, Allah tests them with no children, and they live their life. Allah will test them with a lot of things. So it's not, we are here for one purpose, to worship Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And we can worship without children. Number two, children, it depends to the problem from the husband or the wife. Sometimes in medical issue, he has the problem or she has the problem. Okay, then they have to take their time first. It's a very sensitive topic. That's why don't decide quickly. Let both of you to take their times. Try to a lot of issues in medical issues. There's a lot of now surgery. Alhamdulillah nowadays. Any type of surgery nowadays, which is majority of them are halal. Because no one can create any creation without Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. There's just some tools Allah taught the human being. Okay, if that doesn't work, then always try, maybe this is a gateway. Allah tested you here to bring you back to Him. I know several couples, they don't have children, and they say, when they realize that Allah won't test us for this, they, subhanAllah, became, Qiyamul Layl became a habit for them. They do a lot of ibadah. They say sometimes what we taste from the sweetness of closeness of Allah is better than children themselves. So look at it from this angle. If that also take them and doesn't work, then it's up to you then. It's a right for the one who doesn't have problem medical issue to say to the other, I have to apologize. I can't carry anymore. Please forgive me. It's just toast for us. May Allah give you a good alternative. May Allah give me a good alternative. There's no shame with that. But not in the first time. Take your time, try to everything. There's a last thing, if they are close relatives, that become more sensitive. Usually this happens because of genetic problems. Sometimes, if they are close, then be careful this. So try your best, and when you decide for that separation, try to do it very kindly, gently, and try to explain that for the family also. Try to bring gifts on that. So be careful not, we always have to know, we'll explain that when it comes to the talaq. Allah always said, فَتَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ. Talaq should be with ihsan, excellence. Talaq is simply two couples come together and eventually they found that they are not compatible. So they will separate. Allah said, وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَا يُغْنِ اللَّهُ كُلًّا مِنْ سَعَتِهِ. Allah will give each of them a good alternative. So they said separate with ihsan. No insulting, no criticism. However, there is also a gift after that. We talk about that. Mata'. Quran called mata'. A gift that husband gives to his woman when he divorces her. To show that there is no problem. It's just not compatible. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala give every couple who love children, give them children, and fill their hearts with love of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Yes?
Sheikh, what if you have a conflict and you're unable to solve it with each other, and one gets the parents involved? What should
Okay, we said that if you try together to solve your problems and it doesn't work, then go to counselor. If the counselor is it, go to another counselor. If it doesn't work, involve now your parents, your families. Then the parents should try their best and send, if the conflict is so problem big, so each family should send arbitrator from them, a wise person. And they sit together and see if they can solve this problem, Bismillah. If not, then the divorce is the solution. Divorce in Quran is a solution. But as we said last time, if divorce come, the first step is disaster. If it's come in the last step, it's a good solution. Divorce is not the end of the world. The only problem is when it do it in the beginning. But when they do in the last step after you try, Allah said, وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَ. Allah talk about divorce not negatively at all. وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَ يُغْنِي اللَّهُ كُلًّا مِنْ سَعَتِهِ. But just after try everything. Yes, Umar. If the sister work in a work, there's a haram in it. I don't know what's that haram. She should mention it explicitly, because sometimes people think something haram. It's not haram. It's just sometimes shubuhat only. I don't know what's that haram. But suppose if she work in a place and there's a haram, will the husband be sinful if he allow his wife? Okay, look, when you marry any woman, you have to know that you are now a new couples. Allah place mercy and love between you. And if you love someone, the first manifestation of that love is to protect him or her from haram. Otherwise, you don't love them. The most important manifestation of love is to protect your beloved from haram things. So if it seems some haram, there's no interpretation or rooms or other opinions, then yes. But again and again, this is kindly, gently. But yes, that's a sign of love. It will come to that. That's different? Same. Yeah. Umar will do. Yes, Umar.
Someone asked, when can we say this is incompatibility?
Sister said, when we can say there is incompatibility. When we explain the process. When we try to solve it together, then we go to counseling, then we interfere the parents, then the arbitrators come. If nothing, we are incompatible. Divorce is the best solution in that situation. Yes? Start.
We see like a man might have a lot of ambition and like a drive to accomplish things in this dunya. Sometimes they might they'll get married and they'll lose that ambition. Maybe they'll gain weight. They'll just get lazy and they won't have that same drive. They won't have that same work ethic that they had back then. How can one avoid that?
Both of them, they have ambition before?
No, a man.
A man. And he doesn't have that ambition because of his wife?
Well, we see them get married and then they just go off the face. They don't have that same.
That's why you are not married now. So okay. So he said sometimes a man have ambition, or he sees some friends, some men, they have ambitions and they want to do a lot of projects and something for the dunya or deen, and when they get married, they lose that ambition and they become lazy. Okay, that's for many reasons. Sometimes ambitions is just, we always don't differentiate between dreams and vision. Sometimes many of us have just dreams. I want to do that, I want to do that, but just dreams. What's the difference? Dreams, just dreams. There's no any vision, there's no any set any goals, there's no any plan. That means just dreams. So if you see some of your friends, don't say this is ambition. It's just dreams. But if ambitions means because they have a very clear vision, they set their goals, they set the plan, I want to do this in long term, in short term, that's ambition. Okay, if he has ambition after marriage he lose, also maybe have a new priority. After marriage now, you don't think about himself, you think about his children, his wife, you want to do another project, maybe. Sometimes maybe the wife doesn't share the same ambition. The solution for that is before marriage. I always say to the youth, when you go to see your spouse in the meeting, discuss the ambition and the vision. How do you look at yourself after 10 years? Very important question. That shows you a lot. How do your spouse think? Do they have any goals in their life? Do they have vision? Very important question. Then you will not surprise. Okay, sometimes that is just a lack of motivation. They need just someone to remind them again. Allahu Alam. Omar?
I think you answered this previously, but someone was asking how do you deal with differences in a religious point of view. So, for example, there's different areas of dispute. One might celebrate, for example, Mawlid, the other one might
How you deal with differences Islamically between spouses? For example, some of them, they do something which is bid'ah on the other side. Okay, good question. Number one, we have to know that differences Islamically are different levels, not in the same level. So there's what we call, everyone know this is haram. فقهاء call معلوم من الدين بالضرورة. That every Muslim, educated or not educated, know that khamr is haram, that salah is obligatory. That's obvious for everyone. That type of level, there's no compromise here. There's another level also which all scholars unanimously, they agree, they have consensus about this. That's also, there's no room for flexibility here. But there is a type of level where some scholars say it's bid'ah and some say it's not bid'ah. In that room, the couples should be very careful and they should discuss this. Don't look at what is scholars differ about it as something it's just like the fundamental of Islam. No, there are different levels. So if you agree that this is bid'ah and your spouse not bid'ah, come to the discussion and try to come to the bare minimum. Okay, what you will do? I don't like this. Let us go to another scholar, for example, and everyone express his argument. Maybe we can come to a solution in this. But the main point here, don't treat the difference Islamically in the same level. Allahu Alam. Yes. Oh, sorry. I didn't see in this lab. I have a problem in my eyes. Yes, go on. Amen. Okay, financially. What if the couples, both of them are working and maybe the wife earn more than her husband? So sometimes the husband feel, okay, number one, if you get married with a woman and you know she has a work better than you know the reality before you get married, so don't surprise. Number two, that's all depend your character. What if my wife earn more than me? It's not a big problem. It's a very simple problem. The problem is when we define manhood according to traditions and norms. This is Allahu Akbar, will break the manhood. Why? Let her buy all her stuff alone. Bismillah, that's good. What's the problem with that? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam married Khadija. Khadija was more wealthy than Rasulullah sallallahu. The problem is in your side. Is in you, in your character, how to look at it. You are the one, either make the problem or not. If you look at it as this is a shame, this is a lack of manhood, this is, you'll see the problem. If you say, this is difference is good, and Rasulullah sallam do that with, that's fine. The last thing you have to know, even your wife is salary is more, you are the responsible of financial matters. However, nowadays, if both couples, both of them work, they should help each other. Zawaj, marriage is not about, that's right, it's my right, it's your right. We come to the area of my rights and your rights when there is a conflict. But if there is no conflict, the default here is love and mercy. And love and mercy, if we love each other, then we try to help each other financially. I will contribute, she will contribute, because that's love and mercy. Allahu alam. Shaheen, let me go to the sister and come. Just one sister, one, two. Yes. It's not Umar. Huh? Don't get angry with Umar. You just read the... Okay.
Yeah, someone asked that they recently got divorced, and now they want to get married again, but they have some challenges in the sense that they still think about their old husband, and they don't have to get over that.
They think they all what? Their problems.
No, they still think about their old husband.
How?
Maybe the time
The same couples, they want to come back again.
they want to get married to someone else,
Uh-huh.
memories, they still have the memories.
Okay. So a sister get divorced and she want to get married with another man, but still the memory of the old man, okay, still there. The solution for that is you just need a more experience in this life. This life is temporary. Sometimes you get married with this, sometimes the marriage is not going well and you get married with another one. That's how the life is. Look at the life in the time of Rasulullah ﷺ and the Sahaba. That's a lot. We just have to know we are here to worship Allah, not to rely on any person here. Anyone, even your parents. Allah is sufficient for us. So you went through experience, doesn't go well, or maybe you are widow, or maybe you are divorcee, I don't know. But that's a new chapter of your life. Forget about that previous things. Majority or all of the wives of Rasulullah ﷺ, except Aisha, all of them are widows or divorcees, all of them. So this is the life. Life is this. You just need, sometimes you need help psychologically and emotionally. Ask some counselor or someone who is wise, give you some advice, he'll give you motivation for that. Wallah. Yes, Shaheen, sorry.
Sometimes the wife, she got a status is much higher than injecting her satisfaction.
Sorry?
Sometimes wife, she's her financial status is much higher than her.
Okay.
So in this situation, is it okay for the husband to become sort of house husband
Okay.
to look after the kids?
Good. Okay. If the wife, if the financial matters or status of wife is higher, much higher than the husband, okay, is it allowed to husband here to stay at home and take care of children? Yes, it's up to him. There's no problem with that. Anything with agreement, there is no problem. Don't forget this. This is my right, this is your rights. That's only when we go to the conflict. If there is no conflict, it's love and mercy. If we agree to this, no problem. If we don't agree on this, no problem. However, I'll send a message for any man, husband, in that situation. This is slightly one problem here you have to take care about, you have to consider it. If you take care of children and you be home all the time, sometimes some women, they will look at you in disrespect, in that, psychologically. What you should do in this, try to compromise again. Yes, sometimes we need this in a stage of our life, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but don't make this is a permanent status here. That's not good for you in the... Okay, secondly, when you come home, also don't hesitate because you are at home all the time to not be the leader also again. Don't hesitate because you agree together. When she come, Bismillah, I will act also, I'm the leader. Sometimes you feel hesitate because of that. No, it just sometimes it's necessary for the spouses. Sometimes the wife found work in another country, very important work, and the husband have to travel with her and he will keep home. No problem with that. Sometimes it's contemporary, no problem. But again and again and again, it's all in your mindset. In your mindset, if you feel that you can carry any situation and deal with it. If you look at it from different way, you will struggle. Allahu alam. I think last question, last two questions. Okay, last two questions, yes.
Yes, sir. Continuing on what you've been talking about, this financial issue about husband and wife. Most
And she said to him, you have to provide. You are the one who obligatory for that. You provide everything.
because because the lady.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, you have to think about why she's not going to start on you.
Oh, okay. If the wife, again and again, the same case study. If the wife is earn more than the husband and she provide a lot in the house, so the husband feel that he is always not the leader there. If he use anything, she will shout to him. She will do. Okay. Again and again, if the case is the wife is earn more than the husband, that could be a normal situation if we take it in normal way. Just when you take it in normal way. Number one, if there is a love and mercy, they will help each other. If that wife is know Islamic way very well, she will respect her husband. She will never lose that respect because of she provide. Not at all. She will look at it, no, I will help you in that. We need to help each other. This is our family. This is our house. These are our children. Just look at it from this angle. And in the same time, the man, he should look at it from positive way also. That could be happen. It happened in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Khadija provide sometimes more. But I should not lose that respect because of this. We here to complete each other, not to compete with each other. We here to help our house, to build our house, not to just make us as enemies. So it's all about how we look at it. Very important. Wallahu alam. Okay, Muzammil and Umar, and we will finish this. Yes, Muzammil.
I was going to say, you touched upon civil courts before, and sometimes in Western countries, before people get married, they sign like a prenuptial agreement in case that when they separate, they decide how money is allocated, because usually the woman takes half or more because of the court system.
That's a very good idea.
Do you advise that?
Very good idea. Very good idea. I'll come to it when we talk about conflict. Yes, Umar. The last question from sister.
Someone asked, is it mandatory for a woman to put on
Is it what?
Is it far for a woman to put on makeup for her husband? She said that her husband's continuously asking her, but she doesn't feel comfortable doing it.
Okay. The sister asked, is it obligatory for a sister at home to make a makeup, to put a makeup for her husband because he constantly asks for that and she not feel comfortable? Okay. It's very important for a woman to beautify herself for her husband, and for husband to beautify himself to his wife. That's very important, especially from women's side. Is it makeup or not makeup? Islam talk about the goal, to beautify. She can beautify with makeup, without makeup, that will agree. But if the husband is asked for this necessary, then sit down and discuss that. If you feel comfortable, why not comfortable for that? Is it because there's a lot of chemical substance here? I don't feel that because discuss with that. But the main general rule here is, yes, you should both of you beautify yourself for each other, because that's what continue that love and mercy. Allahu alam. Sallallahu ala abdi rasuli Sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.